This first match is against British School Al-Khabaira in a varsity match. I'm playing on right midfield, my number is 30 and my boot colour is orange. At goal kicks, our centre backs go into the full back positions, our full backs push on, and our wingers push on, with central midfielders slotting into the centre backs. This allows the ball to be retained with a short goal kick, and then we can get the ball further up the pitch with our players in more advanced positions. In this situation, I am putting a lot of pressure on the left back in order to try and force him to make a mistake, which he does. In this match, my team decided to play in two different formations, one for when we had the ball and one for when we didn't have the ball. When we were not in possession of the ball, the team's formation was 4-5-1 with three central midfielders, two wide midfielders, and a striker. This placed me on the right hand side of midfield in a more defensive role. However, when we were in possession of the ball, we played a 4-3-3 with three central midfielders, two attacking wingers, and a striker. In this situation, I would be on the right wing, playing in a much more attacking role, trying to get forward and put pressure on the fullbacks, as opposed to helping my own fullbacks when we were playing in a 4-5-1 formation. The rules of our league stipulated that we were allowed to do roll-on, roll-off substitutions. This allowed us to make lots of substitutions in all areas of the pitch, which allowed us to keep all our players as fresh as possible. We decided before the match that we'd make lots of substitutions in order to keep players fresh. At this point in the match, the first choice left back was not on the pitch for the opposing side. This meant that they had a weakness in this area. Therefore, I made the decision to attack the fullback by dribbling at them whenever I could to try and exploit his weaknesses and to try and cause an attack for our team. In this situation, I was somewhat successful, winning a free kick for us. We had previously scored from a free kick in this area, so we thought that the goalkeeper might be nervous and it would be a good idea to try and test him by getting the ball into a dangerous area and onto the head of our tall players. At this point, our defenders had adopted a high line in order to keep the ball in the opposing team's half and keep the pressure on the opposition's defence. Again here, our left winger this time is attempting to exploit any weaknesses with the fullbacks and trying to beat the opposing team's right back for pace. We had decided that it is very important in this match to try and get the back to position as quickly as possible. This is because it is a very wide pitch and any space left could be very easily exploited by the opposition. Here I agreed with my right back partner that I would slot into his position of right back and he would overtake my position on the right wing. This was a good idea as he had a lot of momentum going forward and had a lot of pace in order to try and beat his defender. It's led to a good attack and eventually a corner for us. We had decided that as we were playing a very strong opposition, it was important to play the way we're facing and not do anything silly when we had the ball towards the back of our team. We had been instructed by our coach to try and press the opposing players as high and as fast as possible. This would hopefully force the opposition team to make mistakes, as it did here. Again, here we have a goal kick, and our centre backs move out to left back and right back. Our full backs push forward, and our wingers also push forward. This allows the centre backs to receive the ball easily from the goalkeeper and attempt to get the ball up the pitch. In potentially dangerous situations like this one, it was important that we had no nonsense and we got rid of the ball as soon as possible. It had been clear throughout the match that the referee was giving a lot of fouls for things like small nudges and pushes. This meant that we wanted to try and exploit that and win free kicks in the middle of the pitch. I knew from experience of playing this opposition many times before that their goalkeeper was a weakness. This meant that I'd made the decision to take the shot from long range, as if it had landed on target, it would have been a very good chance that the keeper wouldn't have been able to stop it. Our high pressure and jockeying forced the opposition to do things that they wouldn't normally do, which forced them to make mistakes in their passing, as seen here. Here, what we were trying to do is jockey the opposition and force them onto their weaker foot. This means that there's a very good chance that they'll make a mistake, as they won't be as confident in what they're doing and won't have as much skill in their cross. This is another example of us employing our tactic from goal kicks, but in this situation, playing it into the space in central midfield where one of our more creative players is open. I am putting the defenders under quite a lot of pressure here and tracking back well in order to make them make a quick decision and possibly not make the pass that they were planning on making. Here we take a very quick free kick in order to keep the opposition under a lot of pressure and possibly catch them off guard if they're not paying attention. In the lead up to this match, we spent a lot of time training on our fitness. This is because this match was being played in high 35 plus degree heat. This meant that we were very well equipped to take on the conditions, and it shows that our work ethic was very good as we were all working very hard for the duration of the match. Here, as we were nearing the end of the match, we wanted to try and get the ball forward more quickly, so we adopted to scrap our normal tactic from goal kicks and get the ball up directly from the keeper. Our players are working very hard to track back and put pressure on the opposition team. This forces them to make a mistake and allows us to regain possession and get forward. There's more tracking back here towards the end of the match, as we need to maintain the pressure on the opposition and hope for mistakes, and so we can win the ball back. We knew that we were a much fitter team than the opposition. This meant that we had the opportunity to pass the ball around them and not give them a chance to get the ball unless they fouled us. Here we're getting all of our main big players into the box in order to cause problems for the defence. The eventual taker of the free kick is our team's best striker of the ball. What we hoped for was him to hit the ball on target and cause the goalkeeper a lot of problems, as he's not got the best handling. This would have either resulted in a goal or the goalkeeper parrying the ball to one of our players. I am maintaining the pressure on the opposition defence until the final whistle in the hopes of getting one last attack. In matches 2 and 3, I am numbered 22, wearing orange boots, and I am again on the right hand side of midfield. This particular match was a league match against Raha International School. We are attacking from right to left, and I can be seen on the far side of the pitch on the right hand midfield. We had identified that their left back was a weak link, so I made the decision to make lots of dribbles towards him and try and beat him on any chance I got. In this match, what we did from goal kicks was slightly different. Instead of the centre backs going out wide, the full backs would just drop deeper, which would make space between the full backs and wingers, which would hopefully allow the ball to be played up into that space and the winger can collect the ball. We realised that this team left a lot of gaps wide open in the defence, especially between the left back and centre back. This allowed us to exploit those gaps and play a lot of through balls through into both wingers and the striker. In 2-on-1 situations like there is here, it was very effective to play lots of quick passes between the two attackers against the one defender. This would stop the defender having any chance of getting the ball and allow the attackers to get forward quickly. From attacking corners, we attempted to move around a lot in the box. This would hopefully confuse the defenders and allow us to win headers more often, which would give us a much better chance to score from the corner. In this match, me and the left winger had a big pace advantage over our respective fullbacks. This meant that it would be a very good idea to attempt to play lots of lofted through balls to the two wingers in order to exploit the space left behind them, as they were attempting to play a relatively high line. Here I am attempting to hold my position as the left back who was marking me was getting dragged in. This gave me lots of space in order to make the shot. Here is another example of the effectiveness of the lofted through balls in this situation, as our winger was able to get away from the defenders marking him due to his extra pace, and he was able to score from the resulting through ball. We wanted to keep the pressure on right way through the match, so straight from kickoff we were pressing the defenders very high, and this resulted in a mistake from the left back, and we won a throw in. Again, I am exploiting the left back's poor positioning and lack of pace in order to get in behind them and put in a cross. Against a weaker opposition than the match previously shown, we adopted to play in a more attacking formation throughout the whole match in a 4-2-3-1 formation. This allowed two ball winners to play in defensive midfield positions, one attacking midfielder to be more advanced, two wingers, and a striker. This placed me in the slightly more attacking role of right winger throughout the match. As a team, we want to play possession-based football, and therefore in midfield, what we're trying to do is keep the ball and play simple passes. You don't want to play any fancy balls that aren't necessary. Again, here we're attempting to exploit the weakness of the fullbacks, as I'm making a run around the left back and the ball is being played over the top towards me. As a team, we're lucky to have a throw-in specialist who can get the ball right into the box. In this situation of a long throw, my job is to stay on the edge of the box towards the throw-in taker and attempt to flick the ball on if necessary. Here I am attempting to jockey the defender in order to make him make a rash pass. Hopefully, what would happen as a result of my jockeying is that he'd have to be put onto his weak foot and would only have one at maximum options for passing the ball. This is because I will be forcing him away from the centre of the pitch and towards the touchline where there are unlikely to be many of his teammates. Here, our centre back tries to cut down the angle of the pass in order to make it easier for him to intercept the pass. This is something that we'd worked on as a team in training in order to win the ball more often and make it more difficult for opponents to pass the ball through our defence. My role when we are defending corners is to stand on the front or back post and make sure to clear anything that may slip past the goalkeeper. The team's tactic in general when defending a corner is to man mark, as it's simpler, and we decided that there's less chance of us making a mistake when man marking, as everybody knows their role and everybody knows who they're meant to be with. It is important to attempt to close down the goalkeeper when they've got the ball at their feet, as they are more likely to be poor on the ball and are likely to be nervous as they need to get rid of the ball quickly. When our goalkeeper has got the ball, what we do is attempt to keep the ball by playing short passes from the keeper and not hoof the ball up the pitch. This means that we have more possession and more likely to get an attack out of it in the long run. Here I am closing down the defender quickly and forcing him wide again as I am cutting down the angle into the centre of the pitch. In this situation, I'd decide to dribble as opposed to pass, as there is a weak left back who I think I can get past, and if I do get past, I'll have a good situation. And also, there weren't very many options for me to pass beforehand. Here, pressure is put on the defenders, which forces them to clear the ball out for a throw-in, which benefits us as we have a good position for our long throw-ins. Again, here I am stood on the edge of the box, close to the throw-in taker, ready to flick the ball on if necessary, or possibly collect any rebounding balls that come my way. Here, me and my striker teammate play a quick 1-2 in order to give my teammate a lot of space down the wing and give him a good position to try and get a cross in. Here, one of our midfielders attempts a long shot to test the goalkeeper by getting the ball to bounce just in front of him, making it very difficult for him to judge the flight of the ball and get behind it. From this free kick, we are putting all of our main targets into the box, which includes our bigger, taller players who are more likely to win the headers. It's because we're going to cross the ball into a dangerous area and attempt to work the goalkeeper. Here I am trying to exploit our attack's extra pace by putting the ball over the top and putting it into the space past the defenders for our quick attackers to run onto. Here, our attackers are putting pressure on the goalkeeper in order to make a quick, rash decision and get the ball forward as quickly as he can, which will mean that our defenders can intercept the pass and stop any danger. Here, me and the right back form a quick 1-2 in order to allow the right back to get into a little bit more space and start an attack. Here, our left back jockeys their attacking right midfielder in order to force him out wide towards the touchline and stops the threat of the quick attack. This over-the-top ball causes panic in the Raha defence, which causes the opposition goalkeeper to make a mistake and give away a free kick in a dangerous position for us to try to exploit. A quick free kick is taken, which catches the opposition off guard and allows me a free header at the back post, which unfortunately goes over. Here, our winger cuts inside into the middle of the pitch and intercepts because he cut down the angle of the pass and got in the way of the ball and managed to control it. Here I intercept a pass as I react quickly to a poor touch from the opposition. I decide to commit to the tackle and then I win the ball. Then I try to beat the defender as I understand that he is a weak link, but unfortunately it goes out. Here our striker puts more pressure on the goalkeeper, which forces him out wide and forces him to hoof the ball up the field, which he wasn't planning on doing, and we win the ball back. As our goalkeeper gets possession of the ball, he plays a short pass to the open defender, as this is the best way to retain possession, as it's a simple pass and it's difficult for us to lose the ball in that situation. As I get possession of the ball, I decide to cross as opposed to shoot or dribble, as I see that one of our attacking players is in position in the box with lots of space. This leads to a goal, as it is a good cross which reaches the target. This next match is from the first half of our league match against Albertine School. I am on the near side this time, as highlighted with orange boots, wearing number 22, playing right midfield. Here, our front three are putting pressure on the defence and stopping any possible short passes from the goalkeeper. This forces him to make a pass into a player who has been marked, which causes them to make a mistake and lose out on a throw-in. In this match, we again adopted two different formations depending on whether we had the ball or whether we did not. Firstly, when we did not have the ball, we would play in a 4-5-1 with me in right midfield in a more defensive role. This helps our defence as they have a strong attack, so we need to give our defence all the support that we can in order to stop the threat of their strong attacking players. However, when we do have the ball, we adopt a 4-3-3 formation, which puts me in a more attacking position on the right wing. This allows us to attack their slightly weaker defence and put pressure on their defenders in the hope they make a mistake. will allow us to capitalise and hopefully get some sort of attack or possibly a goal. There was some fast closing down from our midfield and defenders, which forced them to make a poor decision and hit the ball too long out for a goal kick. In this match, from goal kicks, our fullbacks would drop deep again in order to make space between the fullback and the wingers. This allows the ball to be played up into that space between the fullback and the wingers, so the winger has a good chance of getting the ball and have a lot of space to work with it. From this free kick, our striker who takes it is attempting to test the goalkeeper, as he's not been tested very much yet, and it's a good chance to see what he's like and possibly get a good chance or even a goal out of it. Here I am attempting to block off the left winger who is trying to get to the ball and allow one of my teammates to come and collect it. However, nobody came and the ball was taken away. When we're on the ball, I adopt a more attacking winger role as opposed to more of a defensive midfielding role. This is because we want to put pressure on the opposing fullbacks and defenders so we can have a better chance of attacking the opposition goal. Kick, we are attempting to put the ball into a dangerous area, so hopefully one of our bigger players can get on the end of it and cause problems for the goalkeeper. When we are defending corners, my job is to stand on the back post and attempt to clear away anything that is coming my way and that might have got past the goalkeeper or our defenders. As a whole, my team adopt a man marking strategy so everyone knows who they're marking, what they have to do, which makes it simpler and less likely to fail than if we were doing zonal marking. Here I get a call from my goalkeeper who tells me to leave the ball, and I do so. Here we take a short goal kick to the fullback who has dropped back to allow the goalkeeper to pass it to him in an attempt to retain possession. However, the long ball is unsuccessful. Here, me and my striking partner are attempting to defend from the front by putting pressure onto the goalkeeper and left back, which forces them to play around with the ball, which is dangerous in that sort of area. The goalkeeper makes a mistake because of the pressure we're putting him under, and our striker capitalises by winning the ball, and we score. Here I attempt to play a through pass in order to exploit the weak areas of the defence. However, the ball is intercepted. I decided to do this over dribbling as there were lots of defenders in my way and there was a good pass option that I thought was open. Due to a couple of things that have happened in the last few minutes of play down the right hand side of our team, I had identified the left back as a weak link of their defence. So in this situation, I decided to try and beat him for pace and skill, and I got round him. However, I was pushed over. Unfortunately, no foul was given. Here I get in the way of the free kick and stop it being taken quickly in order to allow my teammates to get into position and mark their men as soon as they possibly can. Then I become the wall in order to try and stop the ball from getting crossed into the box. Here we take a short goal kick to the right back who has dropped back in order to try and retain possession. The ball is played inside and we keep the ball. Here, when the ball is played to me, I attempt to try to retain the possession and go backwards rather than attack the opposition, as there are a couple of men on me and getting past both of them would be unlikely. Keeping the ball and heading backwards is the best option. Here we have a long throw in order to try and put the ball into a dangerous area. I'm stood on the edge of the box, ready for the ball if it comes near me, and I can flick the ball on if necessary. As the last free kick from this area was a shot and didn't get too close to the goal, didn't threaten the keeper at all, we attempted to cross the ball in and put it into a dangerous area for our big, dangerous players to get their heads on. This free kick is in a threatening area in a good position for a cross. Our attackers are moving around a lot in the box in order to try and confuse the defenders and get into space. This would hopefully uh, allow an opportunity to arise and give us a good chance to get a shot on target. This long throw-in was more successful as it created more of a dangerous situation and allowed for a shot at the back post. At attacking corners, my job is to stay on the edge of the box and clean up if the ball comes out towards me. My teammates will move around a lot in the box in order to try and make some space for themselves and cause problems to the goalkeeper and the defenders. due to a mistake by one of our teammates. We have to track back very hard here in order to put pressure on the attackers and try and get them to make a mistake or allow us to make a very good tackle, as we did there. We attempt a long lofted through pass in order to put on some pressure for the defenders and goalkeepers, cause a dangerous situation for ourselves. I am putting on pressure onto the defender, forcing him to change direction and go out wide. When our goalkeeper gets the ball, we always attempt to play a short pass easy for the defender to control, which gives us a chance to get the ball forward more efficiently.